Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 438 for the 7th of May. And let's start off with Crimea. So the Ukrainians have launched a massive drone strike on Crimea. Reportedly 23 drones, 22 is a Mugen 5. Mugen 5 is like the Ukrainian version of Garan, but it looks more like a standard drone rather than the swept wing. And there's a one Tu-141 Straits jet. Straits jet is the USSR era supersonic drone, which actually have no guidance systems. I'm not sure if they actually upgraded to make it have better guidance systems. So in 3 different groups, 7 each, and then they tried to strike various targets. According to the pro-Russian source, they say that all of them has been shot down. And moving on to, there's nothing over at the Kherson front. Moving to the Zaporizhzhia line. Over the Zaporizhzhia line, there is fighting reported at Levadne, with the Ukrainians attacking Levadne. Information's coming from the Russian Defense Ministry. It's basically just a sabotage reconnaissance group, but I will just report it as an attack, because sometimes their reconnaissance group can be quite big, so hard to tell. The Russian forces shelled Zaporizhzhia, according to the information from the Russian Defense Ministry. And there is geolocation of Ukrainian forces over at this position of Chevrolet. This is actually a video of shelling, Russian forces shelling that position where they believe the Ukrainian forces are there, and that also shows that the Russians are not there. Reinforcement has been reported over at Slavny within the Zaporizhzhia region. This is reported by the pro-Russian source Ryba, and then there's also a large train of tracked vehicles, which actually probably refers to tanks, IFVs, and everything, arriving at Vonians or Vilnians. And this could actually be the one that was previously spotted in Odessa. So it could be very well tanks, and for them to be here means that the Ukrainians may actually start to drive them to the front and to prepare for some offensive action, like calling someone fat. Yeah, you're fat. Then yeah, that's pretty offensive. So there is also over at Dnipro, the city of Dnipropetrovsk. This is actually the Russian name. In the Ukrainian, just simply call them Dnipro. The Ukrainian convoy has been spotted passing through. This convoy is made up of 72 vehicles, including the Kirpit armored fighting vehicles, Humvees, and Humvee with radar, and then also tractors and trucks. So probably mechanized infantry group. And moving on into the Donetsk front. At the Donetsk front, over at the Voleda region, there is no offensive action or offensive operations being or assault operations being reported over here. There's only shelling reported by the Russian Defense Ministry over at Avdiivka, Voleda, and Mikhailsky region. So which means that there might be a significant amount of Ukrainian forces in this area that warrants the Russian Defense Ministry to actually mention all 3 towns, which is merely just kilometers away from each other. The front line along here is merely 10 kilometers. Actually, that's quite big. Yeah, 10 kilometers. So this is there's a lot of shelling around here. So indicative that the Ukrainians may have a lot of troops over here. And over at Marinka, fighting is still ongoing in the western district of Marinka, according to Ryba and the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, with the Russian forces. After controlling the central area, they are trying to push westward and try to capture the rest of the Marinka. Moving on from the Donetsk region into the Avdiivka region. Fighting is being reported at Pervomaiske. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they also mentioned fighting reported at Avdiivka. The one at Avdiivka is kind of more ambiguous, because we're not sure if the Russians attack from here from the southwest, from the south, from the east, or is it from the northeast? No idea. So yeah, they only mentioned fighting in the area of Avdiivka, and then Deep State UA reported fighting along the Krasnohorivka Novobakhmutivka sector, which is actually this line. So I basically just put the marker on both sides at Novobakhmutivka and Krasnohorivka. Not exactly sure exactly where the fighting is, but the Deep State UA do mention that the Russian forces is reducing their ground assault operations, and they actually try to do more artillery shelling. And moving into New York front, the previous updates of the fighting towards New York is no longer reported over the past 24 hours. And moving into the Bakhmut front, at the Bakhmut front, the Russian forces on the flanks, basically probably the airborne forces, are attacking Kromove, at Ivanivsky, towards Chasivya, and towards Stupovsky. So the fighting, all this information is coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, as they mentioned, Kromove, Ivano, Chasovoya, and Stupok. You can actually next time scold people. Hey, you Stupok, Stupok, yeah, Stupok, yeah. So Stupok, and the shelling is being reported at Stupok, or Stupovsky, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, and also at Bodanivka. And over at the situation within the Bakhmut city, there is no update in terms of the front line. Most of the sources other than Ryba actually in their mapping draw like that, but then in the end they reported the fighting around here. So fighting is reported by Surya Maps and Ramelin over at the Olympic School area, which is actually referring to this area here. There is no way I can tell this is the Olympic School because there is no such indication on the maps. Then there's, according to Ryba, they say that they managed to break through the defense along the Pobedi and the Pubohina streets. So this is only reported by Ryba, and Russian forces is attacking this area. Basically, they do not have new updates. In this quoted source, they basically reporting on 2 days, 5th and the 6th, and this is already reported the day before. So basically, it's more or less the same information. Fighting is also reported over at this Visolitliv Dombasu Street. I purposely learned how to pronounce this street's name, Visolitliv Dombasu Street. So Visolitliv, I actually repeat it so many times to make sure that I can pronounce it. And fighting is along the Levanevskogo Street, according to information, or at least the way how Surya Maps mapped it. And also at the junction here along the Tchaikovskogo Street. According to Ryba, they said, is it Ryba or is it Ramelin? I think it is Ramelin. So, yeah, is Surya Maps? No, Ramelin. I think I read. Is it Ryba? Yeah, I think I can't find the information anymore. So I remember reading, I think it's Ramelin saying that the Russian forces now avoid entering into the citadel area because maybe it's just not safe. So they are concentrating their fighting over towards the last line of defense on the Ukrainians, for the Ukrainian side. So because this area, they just simply bombard this area, the Russians just bombard the area. They haven't seem to want to enter it for good, for real. So they are attacking through here, so that once this breaks, there is no more way to reinforce this part, as the Russians are also pushing in this area. So this entire force here will be encircled operationally. So there's no need to really storm the high-rise buildings tentatively. And so that's all from the Bakhmut front. Moving into the Siversk front, there is fighting reported at Sperne, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And the Russian Defense Ministry reported shelling at Horivka. Into the Kreminna front, there is no ground operations, no assault operations being reported at Kreminna. There's only shelling reported at Dniprova, Yampolivka, Terny, and Nevsky. So these are the few locations that the Russian Defense Ministry reported they are shelling. So no ground offensive. Similar, just as I mentioned before, they are currently trying to hold the line and wait for the Ukrainians to actually act. Moving into the Svetoe front, finally the Russian Defense Ministry reported about the Ukrainian probing attacks again. So now fighting is reported at Stenokivka, Kaislivka. South of Vershalna is actually reported by Surya Maps. Surya Maps claims that the Ukrainian forces managed to have some kind of success capturing this area here. But yeah, I'm waiting for more corroborations in terms of this information with the Ukrainians pushing Vershalna in this area here. So far, I haven't seen the pro-Russian source or the pro-Ukrainian source talking about this. Fighting is also reported at Sinkivka. Again, previously it was mentioned by the it was mentioned that the Russians are actually doing the attack. And then now the Ukrainians return the favor again and resume their offensive over at Sinkivka. The Russian Defense Ministry only mentioned shelling at Tabaivka, Timkovka, Pershotrovneve, and also over at Voreshna across the Oskil River, and at Novolimsk over also across the river Oskil, along the Oskil River. And that's all from the Kupiansk and Svetoe front. And I think I missed out something. Yes. So according to information coming from Bruce Inf and also Remilin 21. Basically, this is actually shared by Remilin 21 because I do not follow Brusin. I think Brusin seems to have a lot of information and it's hard to follow. So basically, they say that there is no Chechen forces, there's no Akhmat units within Bakhmut. So the sources they have in this pro-Russian source say that they did not see them, and also outside of Bakhmut, in Greater Bakhmut, in the flanks, those are only Defense Ministry units. There is no Akhmat unit. There is no Chechen forces. So within the city, only the Wagner forces is actually operating, and so this actually dispel the false information or deliberate misinformation or made up information that the Chechen forces is actually in the rear of Bakhmut. This is actually now proven to be not true, according to more trustable sources. So yeah, so but I did mention that the Chechen forces that was in Bakhmut was rumors. I did mention that those are rumors. So which is also why it's actually not mapped into the mapping, because those are rumors. So this is proven that it is rumors, indeed rumors, and this is not corroborated. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 438 for the 7th of May. Yeah, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.